Peace, family. It's your brother, Marc Lamont Hill. We are here on the Marc Lamont Hill official YouTube channel. Once again, we are here on day 201 of Israel's war on Gaza. As always, we're here to give you information that mainstream media refuses to give you the analysis that corporate outlets don't want you to have. We want to break this thing down so that there is absolutely complete clarity on the question of Palestine, on the question of Gaza, on the question of liberation, on the question of justice. That is why we are here. That is why we do the work that we do. And today is absolutely no exception. Let's start, as we always do, with the numbers. As of today, at least 34,262 Palestinians have been killed and 77,229 have been injured in Israeli attacks on Gaza since October 7th. I'm going to say that again. 34,262 Palestinians have been killed and 77,229 have been wounded in Israeli attacks on Gaza since October 7th. And of course, the death toll in Israel from Hamas's October 7th attack stands at 1,139. And of course, dozens of people remain kidnapped, remain captured at the time of this publication, at the time of this video. This is a moment. Yesterday, of course, marked the 200th day of Israel's war on Gaza. And the day after is no different. As much as we would like to think that day 200 would, mark some major moment in history, some major turn of events, some opportunity for people to say enough, enough, enough. Wasn't the case. Hasn't been the case. Won't be the case. Instead, what we've seen is more of the same. As of now, more than 300 bodies have been retrieved from 2 mass graves. I'm going to say that again because it's stunning, right? We start with Nasser Hospital. We also have Shifa Hospital. More than 300 bodies have now been retrieved from these 2 hospitals, 2 of the largest hospitals in Gaza. They both occurred after the sieges, right? You have Nasser Medical Complex in Khan Yunis, which is the southern part of the Gaza Strip. That's been the bulk of the bodies found. But we also had more bodies found in Gaza City's Shifa Hospital, which is the largest enclave, largest health facility in the enclave. It was basically an empty shell after the siege, according to human rights organizations. This hospital's been depleted, it's been empty, but lots of dead bodies, lots of people there. It was disturbing, it was stunning. And unfortunately, there's been, no surprise here. The Israeli government saying, wasn't us, or we have nothing to say here, or the Palestinians did it to themselves. I've heard all of the ridiculous excuses, but the truth is that 300 bodies in a mass grave or 2 mass graves warrants an investigation. It warrants an analysis bigger than that. And we're not getting it from Israel. And so the European Union they have echoed a call. They have reiterated a call from the United Nations, which has said we need an independent investigation of these 300 plus bodies that have been retrieved from 2 mass graves. We'll see what happens, but it's somewhat stunning that, at least here in the United States, everyone's attention is fixed on the students at Columbia University, the students at Yale. It's fixed on what this president said or what that president said. The one thing that hasn't been paid attention to is the mass graves. Why is this not a headline everywhere in the world? 300 people found in a mass grave in front of a hospital after Israeli troops leave, and we don't have a mumbling word to say about it. Mainstream news. How is it not a headline? How is it not the lead story every hour? It would make sense if it were, but it's not. And that's why we need to turn this thing up a notch. We need to keep our attention even more focused. Our analysis has to be even sharper as we talk about these issues, because Lord knows this is not a small thing, even if it's being treated that way. Anyway, in addition to these mass graves, which has uncovered old death, we continue to have new death. Five people have been killed and several wounded in the latest Israeli airstrike on a residential building. I'm so tired of saying residential building. I'm so tired of saying home. I'm so tired of saying hospital. I'm so tired of saying private car. But 5 people were injured and several were wounded in the latest Israeli airstrike on a residential building in southern Gaza, specifically in Rafah city. Again, 1.5 million people in Rafah. Netanyahu threatening a ground invasion in Rafah. Humanitarian crisis brewing Rafah. Well, we're seeing what the potential consequences are. It's a dense area. 1.5 million people in a city designed for 1/5 of that amount. What do you think is going to happen other than death? It's shameful. U.S. President Joe Biden signs into law a $95 billion security package that includes $26 billion in military support for Israel and $1 billion in humanitarian aid for Gaza. I don't know how to properly articulate how grotesque this bill is. This bill provides Israel. Other people get stuff too. Ukraine gets lots of money, but this bill provides Israel with all the tools it needs to complete a genocide. I'm not saying that the United States wants a genocide in Gaza. I actually don't think that's what Biden wants at all, to be clear. And I don't think that's what most people in Congress want. Some do, but most don't. That's not my analysis here. But the U.S. is generally indifferent to the outcomes that are caused by their unqualified, and at this point, I'd say reckless support of Israel. There's something that is at stake here. And the U.S. doesn't seem to care. It just doesn't seem to care. And so this funding package will allow Israel to retool its military to develop even more powerful intelligence and surveillance capabilities. I mean, this is a bill that's going to go a long way. And not all of it is for military aid. Some of it is for humanitarian aid, sure. But even $5, not $5 billion, but just $5 to Israel right now is a vote for violence. It's a vote for unhousing people, of dislocating people, of dispossessing people. There's just no way around that. And so, yeah, I'm glad that we're on top of the U.S. Congress. I'm glad we're criticizing Columbia University for its response. I'm glad we're paying attention to how certain people aren't voting the way they should. I'm talking specifically about the so-called progressive wing of the Democratic Party. While we could talk about all that stuff and we could focus on all that stuff, I don't want to lose sight, or I don't want to detract focus from where it should be, which is the people in Palestine who are dying. And right now on day 201, it's just as bad as it was on day 200. But we keep following it. We keep pushing. We keep doing our part. Let's just keep going. Anyway, y'all, that's the Gaza update for today. I am going to leave y'all alone, but please, I'm sorry, what did I say here? We got a question coming in. Excuse me. Jazz said, what do you mean? In the fact that Biden is sending a funding package on its face that Biden is capitulating with respect to genocide? Oh, I agree. If I said something different, then forgive me. I was not implying. I did not mean to imply that he was not. I don't think that that's the only goal of the bill. And I'm not sure that the Biden administration cares one way or the other what happens to Palestinian people. I think their goal is to support its relationship and sustain its relationship with Israel, um, and to invest in that partnership regardless of what the consequences are. I don't, and sending that money knowing that Israel is giving money for weapons, um, knowing that Israel is buying more weapons and using more weapons. We either give them money or we send them weapons. And in both cases, they're being used against the Palestinian people, not to mention everything else going on in the world, whether it's Iran, whether it's whatever, right? We could Syria, we could go into Lebanon, but this money and these weapons are directly going into killing the Palestinian people right now. And so, yes, I've said this from the beginning. Again, forgive me if I wasn't clear. The U.S. is complicit. Joe Biden, in particular, is complicit in the genocide that is taking place. And I'm saying whether they intentionally want to genocide or want to destroy Palestinians, or whether they're indifferent to it, the outcome is the same. We got to fight this. We got to stop this because it can't happen. That's our duty. We got an election coming up. We got choices to make. Apply that pressure because that's the only thing they care about. Power concedes nothing without a demand. What's our demand? That's the answer. Anyway, hit the like button, y'all. Make sure you hit the like button if you like Israel's war on Gaza updates. Make sure you keep hitting the like button. Hit the subscribe button so you can become a part of the channel. And of course, if you're so inclined, hit the join button. Become a member of the Marc Lamont Hill official YouTube channel. In addition to that, if you want to make a donation directly to the channel, all you got to do is go to Cash App MLHTV, Cash App MLHTV, and Venmo at MLHTV. Cash App $MLHTV, Venmo at MLHTV. But drop what you can. If everybody who's watching right now just donates $2, excuse me, $2 will go a long way toward us paying our bills. We could pay bills for the week if everybody just donated $2. So we appreciate your support, appreciate the love. Let's keep fighting. Let's keep struggling. Let's keep building. Free Palestine.